Sorry, one of the labs is up here, so go for it.
Is that big enough? A little bit bigger? OK. So hi, everyone. My name's Joe. I'm a solutions architect at Portworx. And I thought I would take the risky option and try and do a tech demo in 3.5 minutes. So wish me luck. What I'm going to show you is how you can migrate your applications and your volumes between two separate Kubernetes clusters and maintain consistency between them. Let me actually get into the cluster first. OK, so I have two clusters here, master and 3 workers in both, and also a set of pods running. In the first cluster, I've got a mix of stateful and stateless applications. One of those applications is my favorite, Pet Clinic. You can see why it's my favorite for obvious reasons. This is backed by a MySQL database that is giving me this set of records. Okay, so I'm going to migrate all of those applications I just showed you and this into the secondary cluster that is currently empty. So before I do anything else, because it takes about 3 minutes, I'm going to start the migration over here, watch for pods, and then I'll explain how it works. OK, so assuming this works, you should see in the bottom a load of pods pop up, matching the ones I just showed you in the first cluster. So how is this working? Well, we have done something called a cluster pair. This is a custom resource that we can create that allows us to establish a pairing between two clusters that are running Portworx. This custom resource contains a load of information, including how we access the Kubernetes API in each of the clusters. That's already been applied. It's one I prepared earlier. But it also lets me then use a second custom resource called a migration. And what the migration allows me to do is to specify what it is that I want to transfer from my first cluster to my second cluster. So as you can see in here, I have kind migration, right? I have a name for this specific migration. Then I have the cluster pair, which is defining the target Kubernetes cluster. Then I have a couple of options. Do I want to migrate my applications as well? That means extracting all of the resources associated with those volumes from cluster 1 and moving them to cluster 2, and then reattaching them to the volumes. Yes, I do. The second to last option is, do I want to deploy those applications? Yes, I do. And finally, my target namespace. So applying that manifest is going to trigger, oh, here we go. It's working, yes. I mean, of course. So what's happening in the background is we are taking a snapshot across all of the volumes in the namespace, which is the default namespace. We are asynchronously replicating them to an object storage endpoint running in the second cluster. We're then restoring from those snapshots, reassociating them with the resources that we've also migrated, and then starting the applications up. How long do I have? 22 seconds. OK. So what we should hopefully see in a second is my Pet Clinic application should come up. The reason it's crashing, by the way, is because MySQL's not running yet. So that's intentional, of course. You can see the database is about to come up. And when it does, hopefully I'll be able to hit my service in the second cluster. And we should get the same data set. Just while we wait for that pod to start, use cases, DR is a big one, blue-green deployments is a big one, and testing cluster upgrades. Let me just reload. There you go.